Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I have a used book sale haul for you, so let's just get right into it. So I mentioned on my Instagram stories that I had gone to a used book sale, and personally I love used book sales more than like thrift store book shopping, because I don't know if it's just where I live, but I find that a lot of the thrift stores, it's like the books are gone through so quickly that there's really nothing good left over unless you want like 50 copies of Twilight, but that's literally like all they have. And I never find anything really worth purchasing there, and they're so expensive too. Like this sale I went to, everything was $3 or under. Like the most expensive book I got was $3. And some of these books, at least one of them I know for sure, was only published last year, so like they had a really good selection. I ended up getting 26 books. Like I said, they were all about $3 each, so let's just get into them. The first book I got was 10 Tiny Breaths by K.A. Tucker. This is the first one, I'm pretty sure, in the series. I don't know much about the series, but I do know that I've had my eye on this for a while. K.A. Tucker obviously wrote The Simple Wild, which is my favorite book of all time. So this is a series that I've sort of had my eye on and like kind of thought, you know, one day I'll read this. So when I saw this book, figured I'd pick it up. I didn't see the rest of the series, or I would have got that as well. So I just got this one for now. Hopefully this is the first book. I'm not, like I said, 100% sure. But even if it's not, I'll probably eventually get the whole series anyway. So I got that one. Next, this one was sort of random. This is A Country Village Christmas by Suzanne Snow. And this one was like probably honestly a cover buy for me. I just thought this was like, the house was really cute and the little drawing on it was really cute. It sounds sort of like one of those books where she's going to her dad's old house, packing it up to move out, or he's moved out and she's packing it up, and he failed to mention that she wouldn't be spending her time there alone. So it's like one of those things where I don't know if her and someone else, like a guy, has inherited the house with her or what's up with that, but I just thought this was a cute little Christmassy book, so I picked this one up. They had a lot of Christmas books. I don't know like what the reasoning behind that was, but there was definitely a lot of them there. Then I got Rich People Problems by Kevin Kwan. This is, I believe, the third book in the Crazy Rich Asians series. This was the last one I was missing. They did have the first two as well, but obviously I already have those, so I didn't buy those. Don't know much about this one. I do think it sounds really good, but this is one of those series that I was waiting to get all the books before I start it, because I want to read them all sort of back to back, obviously. So I picked this one up. Next, this one was like such a random like impulse buy for me, because it's not something I normally pick up, but I got Wicked by Gregory Maguire. This is obviously, I believe, somehow related to the musical, I would guess. Is it a musical? The play? The show? Whatever it is. I thought this was really cool because it's like green, and that was honestly why I bought it. This one was only $2. And obviously this is like the origin story, I guess, of the Wicked Witch of the West. And fun fact, when I was a kid, The Wizard of Oz was my favorite movie. It was also my mom's favorite movie, so it's always kind of been like a thing in our house. And I've never read this, so I figured I would pick it up for like $2, obviously. I wasn't going to because it's like kind of, you can see like damaged there, but I ended up deciding that I didn't really care for like $2, whatever. And so I picked that one up, excited to get to that one. Then I got Always in December by Emily Stone. I know this one was super popular last Christmas. I saw this around a lot, and I just never got around to reading it. And I had a hold on it, I think, at one of the other libraries that I am like subscribed to, and my hold didn't come in time for Christmas, so I just sort of put it off and didn't get to it. But I want to say this is one of the ones that was published last year as well, and was already there like for $3, so I picked this one up. I don't really know what this one's about, but like I said, I saw it around a lot last year. So that was why I picked that one up. Next, they had a ton of Christina Lauren books there. I swear it was like someone owned the entire Christina Lauren backlist and decided to donate all of it, because they had like almost all of their books there. The only one I can think of that I didn't see was the On a Honeymooners, which is obviously the most popular one, so I assume whoever donated that kept that one. But I got Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren. This one had sort of put in and out of my cart on Book Outlet a lot because they have this one in stock pretty often, so I do think this is one of their probably less popular books, but again, it was only $3, so I was like, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. Picked that one up. And then they also had Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, which I have read. I listened to the audiobook of this, but I do not own the physical copy, And I did really like it. I thought it was really cute, so I figured I would get the physical copy in case I ever want to go back and read it. It's just like a short little book too, so I think this, like, I could go back and reread this at some point in time. And then another Christina Lauren book. I got Beautiful Stranger. I think this is the second book in the series. They didn't have any of the other ones, so I just got this one, and I figured eventually I'll get the whole series probably from these book sales because they seem to have a lot of Christina Lauren books there. And so I picked this one up. I can always just get like the first one from the library or whatever if I have to. This one was also $3 as well. Really excited to get to that one. I've heard a lot of good things about that series actually. Next, I got Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the first book in the Lux series, I believe it's called. I actually, if you watched I did a haul, actually a two-part haul last year from the same used book sale actually, and I bought bind-ups of some of the books in this series, and I think this was the only one I was missing. This is the first one, and so I don't know if this is actually like left over from that sale that they just like didn't have it out when I was there, and it happened to make the cut this time, but I got this one. This is the first one. This is like a girl who ends up dating like an alien, I guess. I don't know. Sounds pretty crazy. Obviously Jennifer L. Armentrout is a very popular author right now, so I figured I would give this series a shot, even though it is one of her older ones. Like I said, $3. I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And so I got that one, obviously. Next, I got Hunted by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. This is one of the House of Night novels. I've been trying to collect all of these. For whatever reason, they are so hard to find. And these are older, like this is published in 2009. But these are like a vampire series, and when I was in probably like middle school, I bought the box set of the first 4 books at Costco, and I've had that box set since then. And it's one of those series that it's so long that I've never started it because I want to have all the books before I start it again, like the other series I mentioned. And for whatever reason, it's super easy to find the first 4 books. There seems to be like millions of those in circulation, but finding the like books that come after that, and I think there's like between, I want to say 10 and like 15 books in this series, and I can only find the first 4 at these sales, so this was the only one they had that was not one of the first 4, so I picked that up. This one was a little bit cheaper. I'm pretty sure this was only $2, probably because they get a lot of books from this series. Next, I got To Sir with Love by Lauren Lane. Lauren Lane wrote Broken, which I read, I think it was the last book I read last year actually, and I loved that book. It was so good. And so I picked this one up. I think this is like her newest release. This is another one that I swear only came out like last year, I'm pretty sure. And like I'm still shocked that like people donate books like right after. Like, do they just read them and donate them right after? Like that just seems so crazy to me. Like that would be such an expensive way of reading, to like read the book and immediately donate it, unless you like really hated the book, I guess. But I don't know. Seemed weird to me that there were so many new releases at this book sale. And so I got this one, obviously, to read that. I don't know a ton about that one either, other than, like I said, the author was what caught my eye. And next I got Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade. This one I've seen around a lot. It's definitely been on my radar because I'm pretty sure this one follows a actor and like a sort of, I think the girl is at like a Comic-Con type fan expo kind of thing, and she meets the actor of some, I don't know, movie or something that she's into. This is the second book I found that had a bookmark in it from this sale. It's only on page 16 though, which is not promising. But I don't know. I love a good book where like one of them is famous, so I think I'll like this one. Next I got Crescendo by Becca Fitzpatrick. This is the sequel to the international bestseller Hush Hush, which interestingly enough I bought at the previous book sale that I mentioned before. I'll have those linked down below, the other 2 book sale hauls that I did from the last time I went to this book sale. And so I just got this one because it was the continuation of that one, obviously. This one was also $3 and it's like hardback, so that was kind of exciting. Next, this one I could not believe was there. I grabbed this off the table so fast it wasn't even funny. And that is The X-Hex by Erin Sterling. This one I know 100% only came out last fall. And just like I said, the fact that it was there was just like insane to me. And I did read this last year from the library. I read the ebook. I didn't listen to the audio for this one. But I really liked this one. It was very like Halloween Town vibes, and I think honestly this is probably one that I will revisit, almost in the way that I watch like Halloween Town every Halloween or Hocus Pocus. Like I could see me picking up this book just as like a Halloween kind of tradition. so I did want to have the physical copy of it. And this one also only $3, came out last year. Insane to me. Whoever is donating these books, like, I would really love to meet them, to just, like, I would buy all their books off of them, to be honest. Next, I got Just Last Night by Mahari McFarlane. This one I honestly have not heard anything about, but I've seen the cover everywhere. And it says, two best friends, one missed chance, a nice night that changes everything. It's very thick. It seems very long. 370 pages, not terrible. But, like, it seems very big. And so I picked this one up solely because, like I said, I've seen the cover everywhere, so I imagine it's good, although I sometimes make that assumption about books and I'm entirely wrong, but hopefully this one is really good. Next, these were other books that I was so surprised were there. These are Colleen Hoover books, which I was, like, not expecting to find at all. This is Slammed, and this is book 3 in the Slammed series, but they didn't have book 2. I don't know if someone, like, found it on the table before I did, or if they just didn't have it, or it wasn't donated, or whatever, but I picked up these two, like I said, $3 each. I'm really excited about these two because a while back I did a video where I read Laura from Lovely Like Laura's favorite books, and one of them was a Colleen Hoover book. I'm pretty sure it was Maybe Someday, and in the comments she recommended that I try this series, and I've been wanting to try it. My library doesn't have these, so I was excited to find these. I do need to find number 2, obviously, still, but I'm excited to have these, and these are, like, in perfect condition. Like, there is nothing wrong with these at all. I'm excited about that. Next, I got these two books. I was so iffy on whether or not I should get these, to be honest. It was missing the second book, which I probably wouldn't have bought anyway, but it is The Tourist Attraction and Enjoy the View by Sarah Morgenthaler. I have read The Tourist Attraction and the second one, which is Mistletoe and Mr. Right, and I thought The Tourist Attraction was pretty good. I didn't like Mistletoe and Mr. Right, and because of that, it sort of stopped me from reading, and I wasn't sure I was going to read Enjoy the View, but I have heard that this is, like, the best one in the series, so I thought maybe I would just pick these up. Actually, this is blurbed by Lauren Lane, which is sort of interesting, although this one is blurbed by Serena Bowen, who I also love. So, I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling about these. These obviously take place in Alaska, which is one of my favorite sort of book setting locations. And so I picked these two up. Like I said, I'm not sure if they had the second one. There were a lot of people there that were kind of, I think, gravitating towards the Christmas books, because like I said, they had tons of Christmas books. So I'm wondering if someone maybe, like, picked up the second book and didn't realize it was part of this series and just thought it was, like, a Christmas romance because it's called Mistletoe and Mr. Right, and they thought it was a standalone. So I don't know. Or maybe the person just didn't donate it. I have no idea. This next book I'd never heard of, but I picked it up because I thought it sounded interesting. And this is called The Sea of Tranquility by Katia Millet, maybe? I'm probably saying that whole name wrong. But this one was blurbed by Colleen Hoover, and it sounds interesting. I don't know. There's this guy, and, like, everyone around him has sort of died, so everyone sort of stays away from him, and then this one girl just, like, meets him, and I imagine they fall in love. But what caught my eye on this one was actually the publisher. When I go to book sales, I've realized I tend to look for last names of authors and publishers. Those are, like, the two things that draw my eye, and Atria is one of the publishing houses that I look for, because usually those are, like, Colleen Hoover's books, or K.A. Tucker is another one that's Atria a lot, and, like, just different, like, authors that I like are published under that, so I find it's easier to just look for the little published symbol than to actually read all the book titles in the stacks. So this one caught my eye because of that. I've never heard of the author or the book, but it sounded pretty interesting, so I decided I would pick it up and give it a shot. It is blurbed by Colleen Hoover on here too as well, so, like, that's promising. So we'll see how that one goes. I will probably update you on that one whenever I read it, obviously. Next, I got A Season for Second Chances by Jenny Bayliss, and for the life of me, I could not remember. I know either this one or I think it was this one. One of these two last year people didn't like, and I checked Goodreads while I was standing at this book sale trying to figure out which one it was, and no one that I follow on Goodreads had rated either of these, so I don't know where I saw that people weren't liking one of these, but I wasn't sure which one it was, and I couldn't figure it out while I was standing there, so I just bought both. But this is obviously another sort of holiday romance. I believe this one is not from last year, although maybe I'm wrong, because I think she's the one that wrote I think it was called Duke Actually last year, was the one that came out, although this says 2021 too. So, I don't know. Maybe this was from last year. Maybe I'm totally wrong with that author. Now that I think about it, I don't think she wrote, did she write Duke actually? I have no idea. Anyway, I bought this because it was like a Christmassy romance and I've definitely seen this cover around, so I picked this one up as well. Next, these were two sort of oddball books. This is Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansala, and this one I have seen everywhere. This was a book in the month book, so obviously like everyone had it. And this is a Tita Rosie's Kitchen Mystery. And so it's like a mystery book. That's literally all I know about it, and the fact that like everyone was posting about it, so that was what caused me to pick it up. I decided I'd give it a shot. I wanted to sort of mix it up. I wanted to get something that like wasn't a romance, because like literally everything I got was a romance, and I just, sometimes I want something else, you know? And so I figured I'd pick this one up for when I'm in those moods. And then this one was another sort of random buy. This was Where Sea Meets Sky by Karina Halley. Karina Halley wrote the Royals Next Door book, which I did really like. So I picked this one up. This was another one. It's published by Atria. That's what caught my eye. And this one is sort of interesting. It's about a guy who meets a girl who's from New Zealand. And I think they just like have a one-night stand and plan to like never talk again. And she goes home to New Zealand. And he becomes like obsessed with her and is like, man, I'm so like sad that she left. And he flies to New Zealand with literally just her first name to go find her, and ends up finding her, and she like shows him around New Zealand, I guess, and they hang out. And it sounded kind of interesting. I think this is probably one of her earlier books, obviously, because it looks a little bit older. I've never heard of this one. Like I said, caught my eye because of the author and the publisher, so I thought I'd give it a shot. And lastly, these books were kind of funny because I was like stalking someone around the book sale trying to get these. So this series, if you've been on Romance BookTube for a while, you've probably heard of this. This is the Thoughtless series, I think it's called, by S.C. Stevens. There are 3 books in the series: Thoughtless, Effortless, and Reckless. And when I first found these on the table, I only found these 2, which are books 2 and 3. And I took my mom with me to the book sale, and so I was like, said to her, I was like, I need a book that looks like this, but it's purple. And she always thinks it's funny that I know things like that I knew the first book was purple. And couldn't find it anywhere. I searched this whole table that I found these 2 books on and just like wasn't seeing it. And I'm like, well, maybe someone picked it up and they weren't sure if they were going to like it, so they only, you know, planned on buying the first book. And then I was like, well, maybe it wasn't even donated. Like, it's so hard with used book sales to sort of know when to give up on looking for something, because it may not have ever been there in the first place. But I was like, I don't know if I should buy these if they don't have the first one or whatever. And I was walking around and I ended up coming around to another table that was like not even the romance table, it was like the fiction table or something. And there was a kid standing there holding this book, and she was like showing it to her mom, like, oh mom, like, do you want this book and whatever. And the mom's like, no, I don't want that one. And I was like, yes kid, put the book down, put the book down. And as soon as the kid's hand was like off of this book, I like grabbed it off the table because I was like, no, like, I'm getting this book. And funny, the only thing I know about this book is that Laura from Love You Like Laura did not like it, but I know a lot of people did like it, so I thought I would still give it a shot, even though Laura's like book taste is usually very similar to mine, which is why I obviously watch a lot of her videos. But I've just heard a lot of people say they really like the series, so I thought I would give it a shot, see what happens. I did read the synopsis of the first one last night, and it does sound kind of iffy, because it sounds like it's gonna have a lot of cheating in it. And I don't know, I guess it depends how long that goes on as to how much that's going to annoy me, because it says that this girl had a boyfriend for 2 years who's like obsessed with her, and then they move to a new city where he has his dream job and she's at a university, and they start to drift apart, and she ends up getting with a local rock star named Kellen Kyle. At first he's purely a friend she can lean on, but as her loneliness grows, so does their relationship. And one night everything changes, but like it doesn't say if she breaks up with the other guy before that starts happening, so I don't know if this is like literally 3 books of her cheating on her boyfriend, but like I kind of hope not. But I don't know. We'll see how I feel about this. I'm excited to have these. Obviously, like, these were $3 each, so like $9 for the whole series is insane. So I'm excited to get to these. I will obviously let you guys know what I think when I do get to them, because like I said, I've heard a lot of things about these books, so I'm excited to see what all the hype is about. So those are all the books I bought. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, and I will see you next time.